Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to an episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. This is my partner, Anthony. It's a judo podcast for judo players by two judo players. So, Anthony, how you doing? How's your knee feeling right now?
Right before I hit the record button, we're talking about what we're going to talk about this episode, and my knee just randomly locked. And you're like, what?
Yeah, so, I thought your dog bit you or something.
No, my knee locked again. So, yeah, it's fine. I just need to sort out when I'm going to get surgery now. My shingles is finally gone. I actually have a spot left on my scalp. But on my butt, it's like mostly gone. So I think I can start training a little bit again.
Okay.
And also I can finally get a haircut. So I've been having
I like your Beatles look right now. You look great.
Yeah. I finally can get a haircut. So, and yeah, like yesterday we were at Winter Nationals and people were just like taking pictures and recording, and my hair's just like a mess. So
you look fine.
But Dr. Sanage that we had on Aaron that we had on the podcast was staying with me because he competed at Winter Nationals. So he was staying with me. So I was like doing all the laundry and stuff like that. And then before that I was in Dallas, and then I was in with family in DC for Thanksgiving. So I've just been like really busy. And now I think as the holidays are approaching, Winter Nationals is over, I feel like I can finally take a break. So
you get a little winter holiday, but we might have some changes coming to the podcast next year, though, that might give you a little bit more of a break. Nothing terrible, nothing scary, people, just maybe some little changes.
Yeah, you want to talk about that now?
No, we'll talk about that next episode.
Okay. When we have our guest on?
Yeah, when we have our guest on, we'll end on that. Leave a little cliffhanger, you know?
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit of some judo news right now, okay? So I had some people message me about that. This is American Judo news. I wasn't going to talk about it because it's American Judo news and it's not huge for the world, but for us, I guess it's kind of interesting. So I think it was last month or maybe even a month and a half now already. USJA came out with a new system to do their higher ranks. So the way it was before, that there was an application system where you put down what you've done, what rank you are, like what tournaments you've gone to, how you competed, how much.
It was a spreadsheet with a point system.
Yes, it was a spreadsheet point system.
Yeah.
And apparently that they decided that was, I don't want to like bag on them saying like it was too easy it was too hard. Because to me, like it should be kind of.
I don't think it was too hard. It was too complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It was a little too complicated for some people to do it. So people are feeling that they weren't getting the belt ranks that they should be, or that they weren't getting accepted. So USJA decided to, instead, for their higher rank system, that's just a fourth and above, to just do it like a resume. So they give you like a little bit of guidelines of what they want and what you have to have requirements for still, but now you send it in like a resume. When I started judo, how long I've been doing judo, where I do it at, do I teach, what my hours are, where I compete, what I competed in, my championships, what I placed at this tournament, that tournament, so on and so forth. And now you send that to them and they go over that and they choose now if you deserve your next belt rank. So I was asked, like, what do I think about that? And I thought this is very interesting. I thought, especially as I just got my fourth dan, and I guess I'm on the road to fifth dan now, which I won't apply for another 5 years, I think, if not more. Anthony, what do you think about this new system?
Are you talking about purely the fourth dan and above, or the
fourth dan and above
and below? I might have to go through it too, because Philippe wanted me to go for my third dan, but I don't have the time and grade quite yet. So what I have to do was basically go through the same process as the fourth dan. Like you have to submit a resume, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hesitant about doing that when I found out that I have to go through that. Because it's like, you know me, I'm like very logical engineer, right? So I want everything to be clear and set in stone, and it's like, and I'm a stickler for rules, which is why we'll talk about referees later, right? So it's like, you either meet the requirements or you don't. So for me, it's like, okay, I guess I'll wait for a time and grade, because that's what everyone has to go through. But then when on the other side of things, I'm thinking about it like, we mentioned this in an older episode, like, oh, some guy who goes to a dojo twice a week compared to me who's there like all day, like that will be the same time and grade. So I feel like they should still make it less, ideally make it less subjective by that, and bring back some sort of point system. just not as complicated as it was before. Because I filled out the point system for a few people at our dojo before.
Yeah.
It was complicated, which is why I had to do it. Because
When I did my fourth, like I went over like 2 or 3 times for myself, then I sent it to you, be like, Anthony,
Yeah.
do you think this is right? Like, and then you looked at it like, yeah, I think that's right. So I looked over again, like, I hope this is right, and I passed. Of course, everyone knows I got my fourth dan.
I don't have a problem with that system, the point system. I just think it was too convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they
Especially
just
when you
needed
have to
to
like
simplify it.
literally like, what do you assume how much you've put in time is worth this much plus a half a point for that day, and on a lunar year, then it's a less point here, and that it just got complicated. Like I love the point system personally.
Yeah.
It's very direct. It's easy to follow. Okay, Eppones are worth this. Tournaments worth that. Nationals worth this.
Yeah,
it's
like
easy
they
to
just
understand.
yeah, they need to get rid of especially for American Judo at the current state. It's like you get X amount of points for this dan beating this dan rank. You get X amount of points for beating this dan rank. Like it doesn't freaking matter, right? We all know like that some people get time and grade dan rank, and we talked about this when we talked about the British Judo Association, right? Changes. You should just get flat points for fighting someone.
Yeah.
Right. At a tournament, everyone should be equal because of how much variance there are. You should just make everything equal, right?
Yeah.
And we also know it's like almost impossible to figure out what down rank someone is.
Oh, Sunday is so hard. Like, well, now with the new smooth comp system, it makes it a little bit easier so people have their stuff
Not
on there.
everyone upgrades it. Plus, they put the profile on private.
Yeah, I know. So, I'm saying it's gotten easier. Like, it's funny talking about points and people because there's one time, Matt, like you've seen him maybe in my videos and stuff. If you watch my Instagram, Matt, I think we were brown belts at the time, and he beat this black belt like twice in a tournament, and the black belt I think he was like maybe I think he was like a second dan or something, maybe even a third dan. And Matt got like 6 points off this guy, and I'm like, God, Matt, you just got you beat this guy twice, you got 6 points towards your thing.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I was like so happy for him.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I know other examples where people kind of not intentionally, just unintentionally game the system, right? Where they got advantage, and a lot of instances where people got screwed over by it. Not screwed over, but held back by it. I need to be careful with my choice of words. Because at the Winter National, someone said something that I said that they agreed with on my podcast on the last episode. But I'm like, that's not what I meant. Like because of the word I said, even though he agreed with it. I was like, that's not actually what I meant. Like I've used this word in this context. But anyway, so I just think they need to normalize it and make it more simple. And that's it. The resume thing is good idea on paper. And I think right now with the people in charge, as far as I can tell, who's in charge, based off of my opinion, I think they're very responsible. Again, overall, I like what the USJA is doing. And even though I don't agree with it, I like what they're doing. How do I word this properly? Yeah, I think they're responsible. But if these people retire or they get voted out and then certain people get voted back in again, then I could totally see how it's really relevant to the way that our current country is, right? But the wrong people get voted in and these rules are in place, I could totally see the whole subjective promotion board system being abused. That's what I can see because people, I was looking at the Facebook coaching groups and lurking and seeing what people are saying about it. And some people said it's good because it's like, oh, we get to evaluate it, but it just means all the power has gone away from the objective terms to like a subjective by the promotion board. So some people were happy about that because they feel like too many people were gaming the system, like I said, with the point system. And when you have a very complicated point system, it makes it really hard to verify everything that people write down. That's the problem. So if you simplify, it's really easy to look at competition records. And if you said you wrote a book, you could easily go on Amazon, look at it and stuff. So, but here, some of the people that say they don't like it, which seems to be the minority so far from what I've seen, they're basically saying, oh, you're watering down the grade, like because competitors are not getting points and it's up to you guys to decide. There's no like strict standard. So that's the current discourse. I'm okay. I don't have a strong opinion either way because again, I don't really care about the downgrade. So, but I know it's like important for your dojo to help them. So, we'll see how it plays out. That's all I can say. Like, we'll see how it plays out. I don't think there's a perfect system, but if it was up to me, I would make everything more objective with a more simple point system.
Yeah, that's what I would do too. Like, I enjoy the point system. I think that's, like I said, it's just easy, like column A, column B, column C. But there's one thing with judo. Well, okay, here's one thing with judo that's kind of different than other martial arts, like other karate system or taekwondo or other things, where it's once you get to a second rank, it's all about like what you've done, and it's no longer kind of testing stuff. It's just like, well, how much does your dojo have? What does your dojo do, and what do you do for the martial art?
Well, this can be its whole episode, but I'll try to keep it short. Yeah. I actually like the idea of what the BJA did, the British Judo Association. I just don't like the idea that they're not normalizing the ranks. So we talked about it. Like, people are it's like, fuck you, got mine, pull the ladder up with you kind of thing, right? So I don't like that they're doing that. So I feel like if you're gonna, 'cause again, I'm all about fairness, right? So if you're gonna change the requirements like that, then you either need to recertify all your downgrades before with the differences between the differences in the criteria before and after, or you would have to demote or promote people. Yeah, that's how I feel.
You better get that letter in the mail. Sorry, Mr. Rodriguez, you're no longer a fourth dan. We're actually making you a second dan again. What?
Well, maybe not demote, but increase the timing grade to the next dan rank. Does that make sense? And that makes it a little nicer to stomach, right? Because demoting is very a negative. Like, oh, your sensei got demoted from 7th to 6th dan. Like, so demoting is a very negative thing. But I mean, that this isn't the first time I've suggested something like this, because I told you I actually like Japan's system where Shodans doesn't mean anything much. Everyone gets one because that stops all the belt chasers, right? So I think, but then in order to swap to that kind of system, it's like, what do we do with all the current Shodans, right?
So your brown belts.
Yeah, I think with all the current Shodans, no. If we shift to the Japanese system, all the current Shodans would have to be moved up to Nidan or Sandan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? So,
okay, that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but that will never happen. What I'm saying is like a ideal scenario if I was in charge kind of thing. But,
all right.
But what is right is not always popular. So,
yeah. All right, so some other judo news that came out. So in the bitter divorce of USA Judo, USJF, and USJA, they were not on talking terms for the most part. USJA and USJF were somewhat on talking terms for the most part, you know. But USA Judo was like, I don't need none of y'all. I'm a strong, independent judo system. I don't need none of y'all behind me, okay? I do what I want when I want. But it came out that I guess it was at the Dallas Open at the President's Cup.
I saw a president walking around.
Oh,
so
did you?
I was like, something's going on. I was like, USJF president's here.
Some shit's gonna happen. All right, get your shit together, guys. Get the weapons. USJF and USA Judo had talks. All right. Now, I think it's funny that they were having talks because they're the ones that were fighting the most. They're the most bitter ones fighting with each other, it seemed. But they're having talks, and I don't know if this is going to be that, oh, we're going to have the old system where like we all accept each other's ranking again and we all like get along harmoniously. I'm thinking this is just maybe that maybe you could do cross rank again, like, oh, well, we accept your ranks here, or maybe we will.
That was never a thing. That was never really a thing, and that never went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still retained.
Yeah. So what I mean is that, like, I don't know what's gonna. So accepting. So I know one of the big ones that they're talking about. Like, remember how USA Judo was saying that we're taking all the responsibility for
the costs,
and safe
the costs and risk
and the cost of all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wonder if this maybe means that, oh, we're going to share, like, will we accept that? And maybe if your guy does it, we'll do it. Are we going to accept each other at tournaments now instead of tournaments having to get separate insurance for each individual federation? I just wonder what these talks are going to be about, you know? Like, what would be the point of the talks unless they're going to be harmonious and all together again?
I think people are making a big deal out of it, out of nothing, because first of all, all they agreed to was to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
They just went out for coffee, people, okay? They didn't go to dinner, okay? They didn't go to the hotel, all right?
I will say I know a little bit more details, but I don't want to repeat stuff that is not confirmed. But the one thing I will say from a rumor I heard from someone is that what happened was because we talked about the email thread that got released, right?
Yeah.
And how USJF was, in our opinion, the one that was like
In the wrong.
Let's just say in the wrong.
They were in the wrong, all right? I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. That's the nice way of putting it. We can say but apparently the person responsible for that kind of did it without approval, and they basically got rid of them.
What? WikiLeaks? What are you talking about, WikiLeaks?
So I feel like they're either that was actually what happened, or they're just like using a scapegoat and be like, "Oh yeah, it was that guy's fault. USA Judo, please come back to me."
Please come back. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean those texts to go out. She means nothing. I swear.
So that's why they're agreeing to talk again. But again, it's just talk. And personally, I think the best case scenario that will happen you can compete at each other's events again. I don't know why USA Judo would agree to that, honestly, without something in return. I honestly don't, because I think right now USA Judo has basically proven, in my eyes, that they don't need any of the other two organizations.
Like I said, they're a strong, independent judo federation. You know, they don't need nobody.
Yeah. So, if I had to guess, maybe it has something to do with the issue they have with the Olympic Committee, but that's a guess. But yeah, regarding the rank thing, that even when the alliance was there, all they did was they said they will recognize your rank. It doesn't mean you receive the rank from them.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I have a USJA Sandan, I can go now apply for my Sandan or fourth Dan at USA Judo. They're just like, no. We recognize you're a Sandan, but you're a USJA Sandan.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a USA Judo rank, you got to get your Shodan, Nidan, all the way up there. And then it's not that you have to start all the way from Shodan, but it means you probably have to apply to a promotion board to, again, get a review, right? So that was always a thing. It never went away. If you go look at USA Judo's promotion website thing, they retained that part, right? I actually applied for my USA Judo Nidan for like 6 months now. They never respond to you. Never took my money, but didn't respond.
Oh, they took your money there. Does it say on your profile that you're Nidan on there? At least
it says processing or something.
Oh
like that.
My god.
So yeah, I think that's all it is. I think people should just not pay attention to it, especially if you don't compete regularly. It doesn't matter. And yeah, that's basically it.
So there's some other judo news happening. There's actually a lot of judo news. So it's gonna be a lot of judo news heavy episode, guys. So last night was UFC, was it 323? And sadly, we lost a judo champion. All right. Marab lost, but he lost to Jan, which technically is a judo guy too, but I think Jan's more of a striker personally. But so we lost one heavily judo guy to a not so heavy judo guy. So that was kind of sad. I was very surprised, but you know, people were messaging me like, I can't believe he lost. You know, didn't he just fight a couple months ago? It's like, yeah, the whole thing with Marab was that he was gonna be the first UFC fighter to defend his title 4 times in 1 year. And I was like breaking a record, the first champion to do that, and he lost. So it's sad. But the way he cuts weight is like crazy. Like he's one of these old school guys that I guess a few days before the weigh-ins, he just shuts down. Like he just doesn't eat anything, drinks very little water and stuff, and just exercises to cut all that crazy weight, which is nuts. That such a high-low competitor still does that old school way of cutting weight. And a lot of people are saying like how he just looked bad during interviews and during the press conference stuff. He just looked gaunt, like messed up. So, you know,
like
it
Kayla.
happens. What? Okay.
Like Kayla. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens when she fights. So sad that we lost one of a heavy judo guy to Jan. But Jan's he's a good fighter and stuff. But I consider him more of a striker, even though I think he is a judo guy as well. Right? Is he?
I think he does a bit, but I personally wouldn't consider him fully a judo guy.
Yeah. So it's like we got a quarter judo guy then. I'm gonna take a quarter of that. What else happened? So there was a flyweight championship, okay? Did you see what happened?
I mean, everyone wouldn't stop talking about it, so I looked it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the new UFC flyweight champion Van, so in the what's his name? So Alexandra went for a head kick. Van caught it, was pushing him off of him, and Alexander, this craziest thing that it's funny because DC was just like, we do that in practice all the time. Put his arm out to post from the fall, straight out there. And what happens when you're getting pushed with someone else's weight and your weight? What happens, Anthony?
I mean, if there's enough force or the angle is wrong, then you're going to break your arm.
Yeah. So he lands, and you literally see the video of his arm like popping out, twisting, coming in and stuff. So everybody's like thinking, oh my God, he broke his arm. He dislocated his elbow or something. Because it was a crazy look. Like it looks like a damn S or a Z motion when it hits that ground. But it came out later that it was really just his shoulder got dislocated. They put it popped out, but popped back in. And I was like, I don't know, but his elbow looked crazy when he fell down.
Yeah, it's not his shoulder. Maybe also his shoulder too, right? It might also be his shoulder, but it's his elbows is fucked. Like
it looked nuts.
Yeah.
So this goes the whole thing of, I know when you're fighting, especially fighting for a championship, you don't want to go down. You don't want to try to fight back up or get put in guard or put someone in your guard or something. But man, I don't know why you would put your arm straight out to stop the fall. Like, just take it on your back, or it's like just learn how to bakukemi or something. Like, this is just one of the things we talk about in judo all the time. Is like, never put your arm straight out when you're falling backwards, because this is like one of the worst things that can happen to you.
Well, there's been, I don't want to make a whole episode out of it, so I'm trying to think about what to say. There's been more and more people thinking that you should post in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu and MMA because of how it puts you in a less disadvantageous position. And in certain cases, advantageous if it was during a scramble to the ground. But there's a risk, right? I don't know if it's worth the risk, especially if I was a fan and I paid money to see that. I'd be pissed because it was like 20 seconds into the first round that happened. It's
one of the fastest UFC finishes in history for a championship belt, something like that. It was like 23 seconds. Crazy.
Yeah. So there's that, and I mean, I sent you the thing. I don't wonder if it was a joke or not, but there's a guy trying to sell a book or an instructional or something how to strengthen your arm so you can post. Completely.
Oh, this snake horseshit. That's snake oil salesman right there. That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, like you just see the video, and UFC kept on like replaying. I was like, because they showed one really good angle at first where you can really see that there's a Z motion of it breaking or dislocating, and then they showed like other angles afterwards and stuff. But there's like just crazy, and just reminded me of Mark Coleman versus Shogun back in Pride when they did the same thing, well, very similar thing. But man, like win a championship that way or to lose a championship that way just sucks.
Yeah, like in judo, people put the Olympians and stuff, they post, right? Competitors. Because if you get thrown
onto your back, you're done. Yeah.
You're done. But in UFC, I mean, I don't have the statistics or anything, but it's like the disadvantageous or advantageous position can't be that big of a difference. I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
Plus, he fully extended. If you're extended, I would keep a slight bend. I always tell people that.
Doesn't. Yeah. So you break your fall, not break your arm. You know.
Yeah. So he full on locked it, and some people will say like, "Oh, as long as you don't fully extend, it's safe." I don't think it's safe. It's just less risky.
Well, that's the thing that DC kept on saying the entire time. Like, we do that in practice all the time. We do it in practice. I'm like, why? Why do you even do it in practice?
Because of practice, well, that's why they fully extend in this and it happens, right? But I mean, I don't do MMA, so if they think it's worth the risk, maybe it is. But in judo, recreational judo, I would never teach that, especially if you're doing it recreationally and you're listening to the people telling you to post. Then you're I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I think
look what happened. If someone says post, watch this video. Watch this right here and be like, this is what happens when you post it, okay?
Yeah, because some people say as long as you don't post too far, it'll be 100% safe. It's or even mostly safe. It's not. It's actually still pretty high risk. It's no longer a risk of like a falling down break, but if it's like a seoinage or something with a turn, then it's like it's like twisting a towel this way kind of break.
Yeah. As everyone knows, me and Anthony, we live in LA out here. We're part of Hollywood Judo. And this year they had the Nanka had their winter nationals here in downtown LA at the convention center, which I always keep bringing up. That's where the Olympics are going to be. Do like some dry runs probably to see how it's going to be and stuff. Like I know yesterday we were there, and I think it was maybe talking to you or talking to Matt, and I was like, yeah, this is probably where they're going to have the like. Not saying this right here, but this is very similar setup, except they'll add stadium seating most likely and stuff. But I was like, yeah, it'll be like this. And they're talking about, oh, it's kind of small. It's like, it's judo in America. Like, I don't know how many people are going to come all the way to America just to watch judo. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the Olympics will know because they'll sell tickets.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll open up three halls instead of just
they're probably they're going to decide probably based off of how many people have the tickets.
Yeah. So Winter Nationals yesterday. Anthony went and coached for half the day till I had to go home and get his dog and walk his dog. Me, I came off the shelf. As most of you all know, if you listen to the podcast, I've been on the shelf for about 2 years for competition. I dislocated my shoulder at Winter Nationals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was funny when I was looking at it setup and I was like, my God, these are just tatamis on concrete floor. Oh my, I got a little nervous. I was like, oh man, can I take this impact? Can I take this? And luckily I was only thrown once. I only got thrown one time the entire tournament. But like I said, I came off the shelf. I weighed in. Fought at 90 kilos again, men's M3 division. Ended up taking third place. Didn't get hurt. A little bit sore, tired, but
that's fucking old.
Yeah, wait, nothing's dislocated. Nothing's broken. Okay, I'm all in one piece. I'm not in the hospital tonight. I'm not in the hospital last night again. All right, slept in my own bed last night. Came home. So, Anthony, what did you think of the tournament?
First of all, I'm just glad, for the most part, no one on our team at least got hurt.
Yeah.
I was telling Philippe and you about this. Like, I don't know if I'm made for coaching because I just can't stand watching people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for one, I can't stand watching people get hurt, but also two, I can't deal with some of the stuff that goes on there. It's kind of like exhausting and toxic. So when I saw your match, last time you competed in Winter Nationals, you dislocated your. We're going to reveal the.
No, just say this. Don't tell me what shoulder was.
Your right elbow, right? Your right shoulder, and then to a right side harai makikomi. And then I didn't see your first match. You won, and then the second match, I saw you fight the guy, and then I saw you get lifted up, and then you bailed. You escaped it, but you got lifted up twice with the left-sided harai makikomi. And I'm like, oh crap! Now he's gonna break his good shoulder. So luckily, you didn't get hurt. You didn't even get thrown for that throw. So I'm glad that happened. The venue's lighting is as bad as before, as I mentioned. Actually, the Nanka came by and took a photo of me where I was wearing my glasses, and you can see like the reflection of the freaking glasses on my glasses. So yeah, it was really straining my eyes after a while. Didn't have that problem in Dallas Open. I didn't even have to wear my glasses in Dallas. So that was interesting. No one, I don't think anyone came up to us this time, but I didn't stay there a whole day. So I was there pretty early.
Yeah, so it was a good tournament. Like I said, no one on us got hurt, but there were two people that did get hurt the tournament. I hope they're doing okay.
I saw one. I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, I believe it was two people that got hurt. I hope they're okay. I did see a very scary head dive, and luckily they did stop the match and gave the person a Hansakumaki immediately. Yeah. So like we need to stop that stuff, okay? Especially like I said, it's just tatamis on concrete. You need to stop that immediately. And I like give Mosquito a warning to do it again. No, we need to stop that stuff immediately. So I'm happy that I saw it.
Overall, I don't have much to say about Winter Nationals. I think I'm not sure why they set up the venue like that, but at least they barricaded the place off. It felt a lot more empty this year compared to like 2 years ago. I think partially it has to do with USA Judo not being a USA Judo point tournament this year. I think it has to do with that basically, which is why we didn't see that many people there at once. It was still a significant amount of competitors for a judo tournament. Like, what was that, 1,500?
Yeah, I think also it's just the way the venue's just set up. How when we're at Azusa, the fighting area down in the basketball court is such a small area right there that we're all just compressed inside there. Where here at downtown, the fighting area, like there's space and stuff, and they have it like gated off where only competitors and coaches can come inside the fighting area. And I like that a lot better. Also, they're much more strict on it. And I just see some people like always, like last time, argue about, oh, but my kid's right there and I have to do this, or oh, that's my guy. I actually saw this one kid, this one teenager, not a kid, this teenager be like, everyone knows me. Do you know who I am? And the security guy's like, no, I don't know who you are. I need a badge from you. And I started laughing.
Yeah, it was well run. Like Eddie Krikorian, who's the tournament director, he runs a great event. I've had interactions with him, very professional. He just loves the sport. So he's really, really good at organizing this. Given, I'll just say, given the constraints he's dealing with. That's a nice way I can put it. Yes, otherwise it's a great event, and I will say the refereeing, and I will leave it at this, but we showed up to the referee meeting in the morning, and the first thing the head referee asked was like, who watched the 52 kilogram Tokyo Grand Slam final? And then like 2 people raised their hand. And then he was like, you should watch it. It's the Yuko that decided the fate of a gold medal for world championship, for a tournament, big tournament. And then afterwards, he's like, who watched the Tokyo Grand Slam at all? Like, almost nobody raised their hand.
And it's behind a paywall now. It's hard to watch, right?
And then he didn't actually ask this question. But I wish he asked, like, who has a Judo TV subscription here? Like, he did say you should all, if you don't have Judo TV, you should get Judo TV. And it's just scary how these are supposedly referees refereeing these matches, right?
Yeah.
And without going more into detail, I've said this in like one of our episodes in the first or second year, but imagine you paying $100 and something, showing up, cutting weight, showing up early or the day before the weigh-in, and then some 10-year-old referees your match and makes the wrong calls, and then the referee acts like an asshole to you afterwards.
And then their excuse is, oh, well, it's a learning experience. So it's a $150 learning experience for me. Here's an example of 2 things I saw yesterday.
No, I don't want to air it out.
Sure?
Like, if you want to know what happened, just like email us.
Well, there's just little things that happen. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that, but there are other things that happen, like where I saw people talk back to refs, nothing would happen to them. I saw other matches where people talk back to refs and they're getting like Cheetos immediately. I was happy with the head dives that I was seeing. Like all the head dives I was seeing, most of them were being mate'd immediately.
Well, we know why. We know why they're.
We know exactly why.
We know exactly why they're doing that properly. Yeah, that's that. But I think the part that we can all agree on, everyone at the tournament, was Yukos were shit, and that's not just unique to Winter Nationals. It was also at Dallas Open, also at the Tokyo Grand Slam. Like, I was watching Judo all the last 2 days with Dr. Sananagi, and we're all like, what the fuck is this, right? I think everyone on Reddit, I didn't even check Reddit yet because I've been so busy. Everyone on Reddit, everyone who watched it can agree the Yukos were completely inconsistently called. And then if you look at Abe's like tournament, clearly he was favored.
No,
Hifumi Abe.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
nah, you crazy, man. You talking crazy right now. You just mad. You're just mad at greatness.
I want to root for Abe, but it's just not fair, you know? So
like we were going to talk about before anyways. So you went to Dallas Open, you're at the President's Cup, and now you just went to the Winter Nationals. What was the big difference you saw at those 3 tournaments?
President's Cup was definitely more well organized in a sense. Not that Winter National was poorly organized, but it was just bigger scale, right? Like, they had a weigh-in room. They had for male and female, different weigh-in rooms. I think the way that they cornered off the place was better. There's more bleachers. It just felt like a more professional event, if I like the aesthetics of it. But organization-wise, both were great. It's clear that they both did a great job. But the venue itself, I used to compete in that one too, Dallas Open President's Cup when I started judo. LA Convention Center parking was stupidly expensive. It was like $30. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So
You got screwed over.
that I didn't like. I didn't like that the Dallas Open mentioned the official hotels like the Marriott, and it's like a 10-minute walk from the venue, versus the Westin was like only a little bit more expensive, but it's like across the street from the venue. If I knew, I would have just stayed at the Westin instead. Yeah, overall they're pretty much the same. The level of competition was definitely higher in President's Cup and Dallas Open than Winter Nationals. There was more people on the national team competing, for example. There was more people from other countries.
Well, like we said, the Winter Nationals lost their points, so
Yeah.
of course, President's Cup has points, so people are going to go to it.
Yeah, but I will say that based off of the conduct of some of the parents and audience, President Cups is better. Like I'm not gonna repeat it, but I saw some like really shitty things that parents did at Dallas Open, and
really?
honestly,
yeah, you told me, there were one thing.
yeah,
Really
honestly,
made me mad.
some of the stuff I saw, I would just like kick them out the venue. Like that's what I would say. But refereeing wise, I'm just gonna say this for Dallas, like the USA Judo tournament, there was because there was national athletes there, just like Tokyo Grand Slam, there was definitely preferential treatment towards coaches and players. There was definitely preferential treatment. That was the same tournament, I think, that Kawabata had to redo his match.
So right now you talked a little bit about how, like I said, with how this tournament's going on, you just went to the Dallas Open, you're at the President's Cup, we were at Nanka.
Dallas Open, I forgot. I like Dallas Open better because I got to see a lot of friends. I'll say that.
And you got to drink a lot too.
I got to drink a lot with my friends. I met up with a lot of friends. It's funny because I was having dinner with Konosuke, one of our athletes, and then and we pay and we leave, and then someone's like, "Hey, Anthony," I turn around and I was like, "Oh, it's the guys from Bridgetown, right?" So I was just sat back down. The waitress is like, "What?" And then I had drinks with them, and then I got a call from my old one of my old instructors in Texas, and he said, "Hey, we're gonna go barbecue." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna pay the bill here." And I went straight to the barbecue place. So yeah, it was fun. That was fun. That part was my favorite part of the trip, definitely. But fuck the DFW airport, seriously. Yeah.
There's another sponsor we're losing. Oh my god. Anthony. So right now the Tokyo Grand Slam's happening. Have you watched any of the matches?
I watched a lot of the matches.
I know you
not all of them.
Yeah.
That was what basically me, Aaron, and his dad was doing. Once we get home, we just order takeout, and then we just like watch most of the matches, and was like shitting on the refereeing basically.
Well, Japan was doing a killing. Like, almost in every division they had, they're taking like first, second, third, almost every division. So they're just killing it today.
Yeah.
Today and yesterday. Yesterday? Day before yesterday? God, I'm still messing with the time zone stuff. But yeah, they were just doing really well. I've seen a few highlight throws. I saw some of Abe's throws that I thought were very nice.
Really?
Yes. You got a problem with that, Anthony? I'm going to come over to your house right now, all right?
If you watch the Takeoka versus Abe match, where I think that was the one with the freaking 8-minute golden score.
Yeah.
Where Abe did not get a freaking single Shido. And then you go watch the interview and the Golden Score show. What's it called? Golden Score show? Afterwards, where they interviewed Takeoka. He was like, he was really nice about it. Like being Japanese and all. He was like, well, I figured he's not going to get a Shido apparently, so I'm just going to have to go for a throw. And he got countered. So he already knew that the refs' cards were stacked against him, So he totally got robbed. So yeah.
Can you recommend any matches from the Tokyo Grand Slam so far?
I liked a lot of the cast matches. There definitely were some I enjoyed, but we watched so much that I forgot. And honestly, a lot of the Japanese are like up and comers that I don't know the name, and they're all Japanese. So Tachima's matches were good. There were some matches with really good Newaza too. Check out I forgot. Aaron was pronouncing it, but people from Cyprus, Cyprians. He called. There's a word for it. People from Cyprus. Their team was doing
Cyprians.
their team was actually doing really good underground too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there were some other exchanges that were really good, but um, I'm after watching Tokyo Grand Slam, all I can describe it as is a shit show because of the Yuko,
Uh,
mostly because of the Yuko, and then also the favoritism clearly to certain people. I can't wait to see what the new rules are because it is very clear that there's been an unofficial rule change that's happened on what a Yuko is, when to give Shidos. There's very clearly a unofficial rule change that has not been told to us.
mhm.
So I can't wait to see them announce the official one. So
As you can see right now, we've been talking to a lot of tournaments. And what time of the year is it? It's the holiday season here in the US. We just had Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming. New Year's will be around right around the corner also. So here's a good question. Why the hell are all the big ass tournaments, some of the most important tournaments of the year, happening during the holiday season, Anthony?
we all know it's because people can take time off school and work to take their kids to these tournaments. But
Yeah.
I think this is the interesting topic. There's no right answer. I just want to discuss it.
Yeah.
Is that is it a good idea or not? Basically, to have
Well,
these around the tournaments. Because for me, it's always like, oh, do I not go to Japan and go coach at a tournament, or do I just say bye, guys, good luck at the tournament, and just go to Japan, right? Which I
Yeah.
did a few times, but because of my shingles and my knee and stuff, I couldn't go. But because on one side of things, you can look at it as like, oh, people can, like I said, come during a vacation, right? Especially with how spread out judo is. Like we
Mhm.
had people from Arizona come, some people from French Polynesia.
Yeah. People from French Polynesia. Some people from Ukraine.
Yeah, we had a lot of people come. So there's that. But on the other hand, it's like I said, one, I have to give
What?
up my vacation days to come.
Uh-huh.
Two, flights during that time are really expensive because it's holiday time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? I'm
Oh my
leaning
God.
towards no because I'm selfish and
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't want to pay that much money to travel to Dallas or whatever around that Thanksgiving and stuff. And I had to fly straight from Dallas back home and the next day fly out again to DC.
Well, that's your own fault. That's your thing. Other people aren't doing that, okay?
You think so? Let me know in the comments whether you do something similar.
It's because you got to go visit your in-laws for Thanksgiving, okay? Okay, so here's my thing.
why not have it in October? Why November?
Yes, Oktoberfest Judo. Why not? Let's do this. I think because like at least Winter Nationals, it makes sense to me because it's it's towards the end of the year, so end of year tournaments make more sense because it's the end of the year. That's big tournaments. Now, as most people listen to podcasts,
Well,
know,
Winter Nationals isn't part of this problem because it's like it was just last week. It's December. It's
but it's right after
Christmas.
Thanksgiving. It's right after Thanksgiving. So
right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, here. Okay, listen. Hear me out, son. Hear me out now. All right. So, as most of y'all know, I grew up wrestling. I grew up wrestling from 5th grade all up to college. In wrestling, when is our wrestling season? It is a winter sport. We start training in late October, November. We go until about well, if we go into freestyle, we go until March or April. But we're a winter sport. So my entire life, I've been used to training in grappling hard, not eating for holidays. I don't get to eat for Thanksgiving. I don't get to eat for Christmas. I don't get to eat for New Year's because I'm cutting weight for wrestling. So it's just to me, it seems like it's almost like a grappling thing because judo's a year-round sport also, but the big tournaments towards the end of the year. So for me, when I started doing judo and was like, oh, Winter National is one of our biggest events. It's at the end of the year. It's just like, oh, of course it's at the end of the year. Of course it's during the holiday season. And for you, when you're saying like, oh, the President's Cup, that's right before Thanksgiving. So at least at the President's Cup, the Dallas Open, you're cutting weight right after Halloween. So you can't eat Halloween candy, all right? Can't get those candy deals, all right? Can't get the Reese's on sale because you're cutting weight, all right? So you're cutting weight for there. You finish right before Thanksgiving. So you might be able to eat Thanksgiving. Or if you're training for Winter Nationals, I can't eat Thanksgiving. That's a week before Winter Nationals. So I might be able to get half, like, if you follow my Instagram, I put up a meme this year of a wrestler's Thanksgiving meal, and it's like nothing. He's like, that's true. But that's the life of a grappler during the holiday season. So I'm used to it. It's part of the culture. but it sucks because it's something you have to do each year, you know? Where at least it's good right now. It's like, okay, Winter Nationals, we're done. At least with Southern California, when it comes to Southern California grappling and judo, there's nothing going on for the next month and a half, or almost month and a half, 2 months, nothing's going on for you. So don't have to diet. You can enjoy Christmas, you can enjoy New Year's and stuff, eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, do whatever you want. Okay. Take some time off, heal up. So for me, like I said, 2 years on the shelf from competition, not having to make 90 kilos officially. Like I've cut down just for, like we talked before, I cut down for fun just to see if I can do it sometimes throughout the year. Like how early in the year I was supposed to go to Golden State Open until I got the concussion, and I had like 2 weeks before, and I was like, shit, like didn't have to make weight, but yeah, it's just that dedication, getting used to cutting down weight. It's just a normal thing to me. If you grew up wrestling, this is normal. If you didn't grow up grappling, like doing wrestling or something, not a cutting weight sport, this is totally foreign to you. And it's like, why are we doing this during the holiday season? I get that. That's why when Anthony asked me, I was like, I get both sides.
I get both sides too. I just think my side's right. So,
your side.
Well, I did start off the conversation saying like, saying that there's no right answer, which is true. There's no right answer. I just don't like it.
It is funny to me that it's called Winter Nationals when it's officially not even winter yet, technically, even though it is October. Yeah. It is December. Shouldn't Winter Nationals be after? Well, then you get the other thing. Should I have Winter Nationals in January instead? But then you have to cut weight for Christmas and New Year's.
I should look up when the European tournaments are. Winter Nationals, like 1,500 is like, people think, well, there's 1,500 competitors, but compare that to like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's a tournament like every other week now, or every month, and they have like 20,000 competitors, like 10,000 competitors. Like,
and they cut weight though.
Yeah, there's significantly more competitors there, and it just goes to show. And also judo too. Like, I think the Veterans World Championship is very popular. Veterans Nationals is very popular now, I think, because they've realized there's money to be made there.
Yeah,
because people who are retired or older and have a stable job, they have the time off and the money to travel and compete and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to grow, let's not even talk about growing judo, because I think, again, we're already kind of saturated with kids from judo, without like starting to get marginal gains, basically, because we're fighting against a lot of different sports. But adults, for example, you're already not competing with wrestling, for one, right? Wrestling for adults is basically non-existent. Yeah, wrestling competitions.
Well, the judo competes with, I guess here in the U.S. at least, I hear it's getting bigger in other countries. We're competing with BJJ, you know?
Yeah,
that's our biggest competition.
Yeah, but for example, wrestling, baseball, all these other sports that kids play, adults don't really have the same thing. Like, you might be competing with pickleball or something instead, but I think in order to grow the tournament, you have to dive into adults market. So I'm just looking at jiu-jitsu, and like, they're not hosting these tournaments at holidays. Like, so
why are we?
Yeah, why are we doing it? Like, I don't understand. But what do you think about that? Like, because they're trying to always talking about jiu-jitsu, and they're starting to copy some stuff from jiu-jitsu, like how they're hosting, how they're running the tournaments, like using Smooth Comp, for example. Took them freaking forever to electronicize everything.
Well, I think that's more just them being cheapskates, because we all know Smooth Comp costs money. And how much does it cost to have one mom, one dad, one kid write all the brackets out on a spreadsheet and post it up? That's free. All right. That's costing them nothing, because that's volunteer work.
But anyone with half a brain cell can tell you that it's first of all, it's not that more expensive, and you could charge more too. They're already charging more. But I just think to grow, you have to target the adults market, I think, totally. And then look at the
well, you have to target who has the disposable income. Right?
The adults, yeah. And then Winter National is not really the case because it's bigger. But if you look at general tournaments, but even Winter Nationals, we have like 2-3 of our adults per division, right? And very often in the smaller tournaments, our adults just fight each other because they're targeting this all around holiday times where people are just, I'm not going to sign up for that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's like I
that's-
said, like you didn't think about it was like when we're first talking, like, oh yeah, but Winter Nationals isn't it's not close to Christmas, so you're not cutting weight for that. No, it is right after Thanksgiving though. And if you're someone that has to plan out your diet and figure out what you're going to be eating and what you can and cannot eat, these are things you got to think about, you know? Like I went to go visit my Thea because she summoned me for a holiday this year. She's like,
yeah.
we're doing Thanksgiving at my house again this year. Like, okay, great. I'm gonna hang around, drink some water, maybe some green tea, have a little bit of turkey, a little bit of stuffing.
Yeah, or what they can do, what they do, like obviously we don't have the same size as Europe, but they can just like rent a smaller venue and then have like a cadets winter national champion and host
Mhm.
that like a different day than like the adults, like seniors, right? We
That's
have
something-
seen, yeah,
We've talked about this a bunch of times where I think that we should just it would be more popular if we had like youth days and adult like youth tournaments and
Well,
adult
they
tournaments
do-
separate. you
they
know?
have days, right? But that's
Yeah.
different because they do it back to back, so
Yeah.
they don't have to set up and whatever. But I think if they just had like adults only tournament and then like cadets and then juniors, then
we talked about
yeah.
we tried to we remember that one time we brainstormed about that at our dojo and be like, what if we just had an adult tournament? Well, we maybe set 2 mats up here, we use this mat there.
So I'm looking at the Cadet European Cup, and it was like held 9 months ago. I know also
That's in the middle of the year. That's not a year championship right there. I need it at the end of the year, cold weather.
I also think it has to do with because we have 3 judo organizations, they don't want to overlap with each other's tournament.
Yeah.
When in reality, I think they should just like compete with each other. Because you remember like that year when USJF Nationals had like 50 people total signed up.
I was there. I was one of the 50. All right.
They had 50 people total signed up because they were right around 2 other tournaments.
Yeah.
So people were like, we're not going to go to this one, right? But if USA Judo was just like Winter Nationals, like what about like USA Judo Christmas Nationals?
Christmas
Like-
USA Championships or something.
Yeah, and then just make it right around the same time, you know, then they would take Nanka's lunch money. But anyway, I think
My thing is
doing
just
it around, I don't like that they're doing it around holiday times, is what I'm saying.
if you're going to call it Winter Nationals, we should have it during the winter. All right. That's my thing.
Yeah, if anything, the small tournaments should happen around holidays when people are home, right? It's like, oh, I'm visiting my mom in Florida. Let me go to US Mini Open or whatever, you know, like
open.
yeah, but like October or July or something, then all right, let's go to Winter Nationals or Summer Nationals or President's Cup or something. So I think that makes more sense. Smaller tournaments to be smaller tournaments should happen around that time, all around the everywhere. And then the bigger tournament, because everyone's home for Thanksgiving at different areas, right?
Yeah.
And then like the big tournaments that everyone has to travel to one place for should be at like non-holiday times.
Like during the summer, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Summer Nationals, but that's just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, instead of having like big tournaments, like I said, Dallas Open, President's Cup, Winter National, like, just those 3 tournaments we've been talking about the most this entire episode. Instead of having them at the end of the year, which, like, to me, it makes sense. It's the end of the year. You should finish off strong. Moving those like to more summertime or maybe earlier fall instead of late fall, winter.
I would be in Japan this time of the year usually. That's why historically I don't go to Winter Nationals.
I know.
I'm
Let
not gonna go.
let us know what you guys think of the fans. You know, let us know in the comments what you guys think about these tournaments. Should these tournaments be done during this holiday season? Did you grow up wrestling? This is just this is like nothing to you, just normal stuff, or did you not grow up doing wrestling and do other martial arts or other sports, and this is totally different for you? Like, why am I cutting weight during the holiday season? Why am I cutting weight during Thanksgiving? Why am I cutting weight right before Christmas? Or why am I not getting my Halloween candy? I can't get the Reese's on sale. Why can't I get my Reese's on sale? With my Reese's ad. People know what I like now.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
really
guess one likes
curious.
Reese's a lot.
Again, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to know what people think.
Yeah.
So, and I'm basing my view off of obviously my personal feelings, but also how I'm looking at these adult brackets and they're not really being filled out.
Anthony, is there anything else you want to talk about tournaments or when your schedule is?
I think it's long enough. We have a special guest for the end of the year episode. I haven't come up with a plan yet for that episode because I've been so busy, but we'll see. Maybe it'll just be a normal end of the year episode and without anything fun.
Oh, nothing fun. No quiz. Oh, that's why we'll tune in every year for that. We actually did get complaints last year because we didn't do one.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we got a few.
All right.
All right. So please remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow Anthony on the I'm just gonna call it the Beehive because I know you want
just add the newsletter blog.
Yeah, I know the newsletter, but I call it the Beehive because you're the king bee now to me. All right, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So follow Anthony there at Tatami Talk. You want to follow me at _Juan on Instagram. You follow Anthony on Instagram at Anthony Throws. You follow Tatami Talk itself on Instagram at Tatami Talk. You want to follow us on YouTube at Tatami Talk. You send us anything you want us to talk about, things you want us to go over, ask us any secret questions you have for us. You can slip into our DMs or just send it to our Gmail at tatamitalk@gmail.com. Same as always, we're on the threads. No one cares about it. It's just there, just an archive now. That's all I have it there for. No one gives about it. All right. Is there anything else, Anthony?
No, that's it. I don't know how much of this I'm going to cut out because I feel like it's said some stuff I'm going to regret. But yeah, it'll be fun editing this.
All right. So with that, don't forget to
don't give Hifumi Abe a Shido if you're refereeing his match. Yeah, and slap the mat.